challenge me, I'll crush you. It's been a long time since I've been at full power. Come at me with everything you've got, understand?
We're gonna war. We're gonna eat that sauce for breakfast.
Yes, yes, yes. You are tuned in to the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show. I'm your host, V. And I'm joined by my co-host, Bill and Will. So, I think we should just go ahead and dive right in. First, I want to just preface this by saying, this is the Red Pill Hardcore for a reason. And, I don't know what it was that made these feds think they can face off against me, but, I'm the man with their secrets, okay? I'm the man that knows everything about them. I'm the Kage. That means shadow of shadows. There isn't anything they have done underneath the sun or in the dark that I don't know about. Okay, so I think we need to just go ahead and get things started. I believe we have Devin Devine calling tonight. I don't know. The guy is very important. I would say activist in the TI community. So we'll see if we can get connected this time. Until then, we'll go ahead and start with whatever you guys want to talk about.
Will, you want to chime in first, or do you want me to?
Go right ahead, Bill.
Well, number one, V, thank you again so much for including me in the show. We had our conversation earlier today and everything. Ted is extremely excited about the way you set it up. We are working with Tom right now. He's been working with Tom for 3 days. The man is a genius. Ted has vetted him with the white hats and people he works with. And the man is exactly on the money. He's 80-something years old. He's blind. But like the Bible said, his natural force is not abated and his vision is not dimmed. He's gonna lead us down a long path to TI assault. And with hardcore, I use that word, hardcore information. The man is really good. Ted and I are looking at maybe even going to Salt Lake City to personally see him and interview him, and I think that he's going to go a long way toward helping us get to the bottom of some of this nonsense. Like I said, again, I'm very glad to be here. I'm enjoying these shows a lot. I enjoy doing this, and so thank you guys for putting up with me.
All right, it's your home as well as mine.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the time too, V, and I just wanted to talk about a few things that we have going on today. Stuff that I know you'll probably be interested in. Which one to start with? So I guess I'll start with this article right here. This is Swedes are getting implants in their hands to replace cash, credit cards. Thousands of people in Sweden are having futuristic microchips implanted in the skin to carry out everyday activities and replace credit cards and cash. And this is from the New York Post just recently. And then you have Elon Musk, and he's announcing the whole Neuralink thing. And it's interesting because I'd like you guys to maybe have a quick take on this, but Elon Musk was kind of like the dude who was like, hey, yeah, AI is bad, and I'm trying to warn you, AI, and I'm smoking pot on Joe Rogan, and it's cool, Tesla, And now all of a sudden, he's like, I'm going to put wires inside your brain. And it's interesting too because roughly about this time, maybe like a year and a couple months ago, there was an article from Reuters that maybe does, maybe doesn't have anything to do with this. Meet Tesla's new bondholder, billionaire George Soros. And we got all these other things. And then I guess it ties into this. The Face app, which has recently gone viral for its age filter, now owns more than 150 million people's names and faces. According to their user agreement, the company owns a never-ending, irrevocable, royalty-free license to do almost anything they wish with them. And then you have this article here, and this is facial and emotional recognition. Not just facial, but and emotional recognition. How one man is advancing artificial intelligence. And the funny thing is, there's some people now having this backlash against the Face app and stuff like that. But I mean, the NSA has all that and more, and Snowden told everybody about that, and so did William Binney and Thomas Drake, and still nobody cares. But I think the thing that's most worrying to me, I guess, is this Neuralink and Mr. Musk. What do you guys think about Musk? And because it's so funny, he was all of a sudden like, "Hey, I'm cool, and AI is bad," and now here, ram this in your freaking head.
Well, I want to chime in. Go ahead, V.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I want to. It's a pity with the technical advances that we've had in this world, basically in the last 50 years, that can do so much good for humanity. All right, but you have to watch these things. I've got two things to say about this. A couple of years ago, there was a number of DUI arrests in Texas where it turned out that the people were diabetic and they were having an incident. But the courts and justice were grinding. So they wanted to, we're doing a little thing now. We got the barcode on the license plate on the windshield, and they wanted to include part of it. If you were a diabetic, that would be when the officer scanned it, it would tell him immediately, you are a diabetic. And so if you were acting erratic, he had that, okay, I know he's a diabetic. So, but there was a big outcry from some groups.
Well,
that's an invasion
there
of privacy.
There were several black men killed.
Right.
They were acting
And
erratic.
and the other thing, what Will was saying about invasive apps, the Face app, because of one incident, I didn't go for that. Everybody go up and you download the Flashlight app. That's harmless. It's harmless, Flashlight app. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is something that was proven. The Flashlight apps were loaded up with invasive software.
Yes. Facial recognition, because it comes with permissions. Any app that you download, and people are finding this out more and more every day, any downloads that you app that you download comes with permissions, and permissions that you cannot control. And yes, it'll take over your phone communications. And we have Devin Devine here with us, but before I bring him on, I want to go ahead and respond to what Will said. The implants, and I've covered this in my documentaries. Okay, Facebook.com/targeted individual documentaries / okay, this is something that they don't need anymore. The chemtrails, the nanoparticulates, lacing our brain's neural pathways, turns our brains into transceivers. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't conspiracy theory, this is conspiracy fact. We said no to the chip, so they chipped us anyways. They found a way. So, with that said, I want to bring on Devin Devine. Are you there, Devin?
Yeah, how you doing, man? Yeah, one second.
Doing okay. It's been a long time waiting for you to come on the show.
I want to touch on what you were just saying about
Go ahead.
all that with the nanotechnology, how they could just chip us anyways. I heard that they can self-assemble the nanotechnology, or I'm not going to speculate on anything that I can't confirm. I spoke about this in my documentaries. Self-assembling.
Well, not self-assembling. It has to receive scalar information or electromagnetic information, recombinant technology. Depending on the frequency, the nanoparticulates will form different shapes, which form different functions when they come together. Yes.
Absolutely. They pretty much have total control of the brain. People that are unaware of, them being able to talk subliminally at a low level, a tone or whatever, and even, mimic people's voices, even their own inner voice. It's all hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming after that, psychic driving, like in the MK Ultra programs, Project Monarch. It's all Monarch programming. They do it on kids. They do it on Disney kids. They turn them into alpha or beta, programming. You can look it up all over YouTube and stuff, but nobody can prove it. So unfortunately they're victimized right in front of our faces, and you can see like Britney Spears. She'll put like a different wig on, and she won't remember being with like certain dudes that are apparently her boyfriends. You know what I mean? And they pretty much just activate alters. What it is, they dissociate and program alters through neurolinguistic programming, and they can manipulate dreams and experience other people's experiences as well. Pretty fucked up shit.
Okay, let's try to keep the language clean. And yes, I absolutely agree. I did an interview with Ashley Ann Wood, a Hollywood actress that was on Lost, Buffy, CSI Miami, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is she told me she was flat out being tortured. People can go to my TV network YouTube channel, Truthtainment TV Network, and see this interview I did with Miss Ashley Ann Wood. And
yeah, I saw that video actually. Great video.
What'd you think about that?
Sir. I thought it was a great video. It's very informative. You guys touched on a lot of good topics. And I actually, later on, before I forget, I just want to say that I have a way to take the whole thing to the next level. The Truth Entertainment thing would never be the same without it. If you want to hear it later, I've got a great idea for you. A couple great ideas.
Well, you've always been active
within 30 seconds.
I remember talking to you several years ago, I want to say about 2 years ago, and you were saying that you acquired a phone line for us to use and all this. I'm sorry that we couldn't utilize it then, but I mean,
oh yeah, the TI
you have
hotline,
been spot on TI community. You've been putting out video material, seeming like daily, and this sort of thing. So it's phenomenal that you are so active and you're fighting. I want to commend you for that.
Yeah, I try to touch on not just the TI topic. I try to incorporate the TI community in every single video. But I touch on all corruption, all problems in the world, all flaws, and even in just our mentalities. In the programming all around us. That's why I was trying to get like truth memes and like convo memes. You ever check out the Whisper app? There's a flaw in Facebook where you can't even really keep a conversation going because there's multiple conversations eventually at one time, and then you have to scroll down like a bunch of fucking comments just to see a response to another conversation. So there's a flaw there, and there's no dislike. You can't like skip the stupid comments and the counterintelligence and stuff like that going on. And these convo memes and the like truth talks. I was thinking TI truth talks or just truth talks in general. Recorded video interviews and phone calls like this. If people just put them all together, and then people could just instead of just being one show, it could be everyone at the same time, and then the whole world would have to be forced to wake up to it.
Absolutely. And what is the TI experience for you?
Well, it's pretty much, it's not as bad as other people's. I have 24/7 pretty much, just constant. I'm hooked up to like a software, I guess, and a program on a computer where my brain is wirelessly linked through an electronic brain link. You can look that up through like the NSA stuff, and CIA did MK Ultra type stuff too, where they did psychic driving and kept repeating audio recordings, so that they basically can like map out your brain, and like you have patterns whenever you're thinking, saying, or doing different things, unique activity in your brain. And so this, after a long period of time, they set it up so that way it can automatically recognize these patterns and then send or play or audio recording that psychic drives you or tries to reprogram you in a certain way, and they can also create alters. That's pretty much how it works. It's just all day long they're just trying to slander and harass you and make you feel like you're something less of what you are, and they use the same techniques on everybody. They try to make you think that everyone's in on it and that everybody believes what's going on, and they believe them, and they they defy their own logic, because all day long they're committing heinous crimes and, violating people in the worst of ways, and, even sexually, traumatizing people to get them to dissociate so they can program, whatever hypnosis or programming they think that they're programming. But we are, from my knowledge, unprogrammable, and I feel like they're just trying to figure out how to mind control us, and they just can't get us mind controlled. It's just kind of funny. They're trying to, do it without killing us, because they're not accomplishing their goal,
Yeah, now, when were you first affected by this, and why do you think that it was taking place towards you and not somebody else?
Well, they have key things that they probably look for, in people's personalities. Like, one thing I recognize, I think they target most people that are, not really following along with the social thing. Like, when they go into school, in the classroom, they're not really paying attention, they're not doing their homework, they don't want to do the work, want to go somewhere else, and or they're daydreaming a lot, they're in their imagination, And, we're all a consciousness, we're all a mind, and they try to hide that from us, that information, and use religion and all that stuff, and that really it matters more, than people will imagine. Like, this phone call right here could change the entire world if people heard it, but, we are consciousness, we're not physical matters. Quantum physics, the physicists, they look down at the atoms, and they've seen that there's no, material anything. It doesn't really,
Exactly.
it's not really there. It's just energy. It's all what we make it.
I want.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just wanted to say, too, I wanted to know when you first actually noticed something was happening, if you could say about that after you get to Bill's question. Sorry about that.
No, I've got an interjection here. We just got a law enacted here in Texas that horrified us. And you guys you're not going to believe it, and V, you're not going to believe this. We have a law in Texas now, as of 2 weeks ago. They began a psychological profile on your children in school during pre-K, including apathy, aggressiveness, and it all goes into a permanent file that rides your child all the way through school into his life as they try to pre-identify suspected criminals when they're 4 years old. That is a fact.
See, that's proof right there.
I'll swear on a stack of
It really
Jim Beam, bottles. Go ahead.
That is
Homeschool.
proof right there, to be honest. That explains that they're using the law to
we homeschool, gentlemen.
do that.
We homeschool, gentlemen.
That's smart.
Go ahead, Devin.
No, that really does prove that, they're manipulating, the law to, identify the people that they can target and, are going to be dissidents or a potential problem or a threat to their, some people would call it the New World Order, the satanic agenda. But, they corrupt the control, and they divide and conquer, and they deceive, and they use their disinformation tactics. Even I think it was the director, sorry for swearing, the director or something of the CIA said something like, when the public believes the opposite of the truth or something like that, we'll know our tactics work. They're just trying to, I call it the CIA, not the Central Intelligence Agency, but the Counterintelligence Agency. They have to keep us dumbed down and powerless. We can't recognize what the truth is and perceive reality and, get higher dimensional and all that stuff. You know what I mean? More awareness, more valence.
Absolutely.
Everything changes.
And I agree with your assessment right there. That's what I call them too. I call them counterintelligent because, for one, you'll think they're so intelligent, but their job is to keep information from moving from here to there, and that's how they control us. But we're going to go on the commercial break, and we will be right back. Yes, we are back. Evan find us, and I want Will's questions answered because those got skipped over on this before the segment there. So, Devin, how did you know when this started for you? How did you tell the difference?
Oh yeah, it's just when you're walking around and people are driving erratically. This never happens, but this happened to me one time. I was walking down one street. Right, it wasn't even that long of a walk, probably about half an hour. And there were cars there. My bad. There were cars that were just driving erratically. They were literally I swear to God, they were stopping in front of me and turning a different way, turning around and going a different way, and making it very obvious. And then there were license plates, one after another, that one said hi in it, next said bye in it, and then next said die in it. So it couldn't have been more obvious that, they're trying to make me tell that story to other people and sound crazy, And, it's kind of funny because, that kind of blows part of the operation there because they're doing it to so many people and then they give their testimony. But, yeah, they don't believe that other people are going to, share it with other people and that it's going to be heard all at the same time. And that's what we need to do so that way that can happen, so that people can know that this is really a thing. And they're normally pretty much just blocking it out. They don't want to hear anything about it. It's pretty much pre-programmed.
That's a great idea. If there was some type of database, you guys could do a Reddit or a website. We could set something up like that, and just in every area, people report different people that are either doing it or hypothetically doing it or accused of doing it in some of their vehicles and the modus operandi and where they are. And if you start establishing patterns and stuff like that, that could be a good source. And then also the fact, like you just said, the repetitive stories, people talking about the same people doing it over and over and over again, that builds a file, that builds a caseload right there. So that would be something pretty cool to do. Maybe even put it on the blockchain.
That's what I was saying earlier too about the TI hotline. If everybody had their own little TI hotline, they just answered TI calls. But you have to worry about people doing calls that they're faking it, and trying to make people sound crazier than they are to discredit everybody else. So,
well, not only that,
there are certain. Too.
Well, not only that, there are certain levels of this that target individuals need to understand. I mean, just like from that moment where you think you're normal, and the next moment you notice that you targeted, and there are several levels that happen from the moment that you notice being targeted to the point where you're fully educated. We have people that become targeted, and it's just, preconceived notion after preconceived notion. Like the neighbor myth. This is the one I'm trying to fight the most.
Oh, absolutely.
There's 10 million TIs on the planet, and each one of them thinks their neighbor has high clearance, top secret technology messing with them through the wall. Get real.
That's that they can do, man. Once they use the voice technology, they can manipulate their voices to sound like the neighbor. They can make sound like it's coming from the walls. They could, just say in their head that it's the neighbor and make them think that, it's the neighbor. That's the problem, though. It's not that we're all targeted individuals. It's that everybody's a targeted individual, but we're the smart ones that, woke up and realized that something ain't right. You know what I mean? And, it's kind of like the movie They Live, but instead of having antennas, it's hypnosis over a slow period of time through, Monarch programming, through entertainment, music. Because they say that they sold their souls to the devil for a reason. And they're all doing the 666 stuff, the Monarch butterflies, and they got the ptosis with the droopy left eyes. They're victims too, but they can't speak out without ended up in mental hospitals and getting, victimized by their own fans.
And we have a caller, by the way, and we're going to get to this caller before I'm sorry, after we go to break. But before we go to break, I want Bill to finish his statement.
Ted and I, Dr. Ted and I released our daily article today, and we're beginning to be aware of the TI community. So it's brand new to us. With us, the kind of stuff we do, being targeted, it's like when you go up to Utah and you attack their foundations and try to prove something, and the Danites will tie a brick around your neck and throw you off in the Great Salt Lake. You're targeted, okay? So this is new to us, but we did an article today where we both had an epiphany last night, and we realized that the problem with the country was not liberals versus conservatives, Democrats versus Republicans. We realized that we are all now like a cage full of monkeys, okay? And that there is a royal family that, a worldwide royal family that developed that runs the show, basically targets everybody. They fine tune somebody, but they target everybody. And the way I proved it on the article, I said, if you don't believe this, ask yourself, why does Donald Trump have so much problem getting traction, but Bill Clinton doesn't? Trump is not part of the royalty, and Clinton was. Just like Caligula, he was kept in the background until he was brought out at the appropriate time. And they do target. They do target.
We're going to go commercial break. And yes, we are back. This is the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show. I'm host V, and we have Devin here with us. But right now, we're going to go to the callers. So I believe we have Jason. Jason, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh. Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I received
Go
an
ahead,
email
tell me what's on your mind.
I received an email about statutory declaration. I'm not quite sure what that is or what you would put on it. Like, I noticed it had your information, if you're Frank. It had who you thought was possibly attacking you, I guess.
Okay, well, I'm not Frank.
Okay. I was told that we call in at whatever it is, 9-something Eastern, so obviously I'm off by that time then. Do you guys know
luckily
about
for you, we do cover the subject of targeted individuals, and quite honestly, I've been in the game a lot longer and exposing this a lot longer than Frank, so but I'm confused about your question.
Well, it's like a legal document that you have a notary actually sign so that if something does happen to you, it's on record that as far as your best of your knowledge, so-and-so has attacked you bad enough to kill you or something like that. Like, you guys are talking about neighbors and what have you, so I don't know if...
Well, and see, that is something that we have also preached from the start, is that document everything. Target individuals, anyone, actually.
I have no idea what that would be, though.
If you're dealing with CPS or...
I would worry about
it doesn't matter what
that,
you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the government, then someone is attacking you, a corporation is attacking you, some radical group is attacking you, documentation, get to court, leave all forms of documentation with friends and family, because all the stuff gets exposed eventually. It doesn't matter when 25, 50 years from now when they declassify something, and they put that sad little president up in front of the damn podium to apologize to everybody. No, somebody's going to be held responsible. Some agency's going to be held responsible. And that's what we need to draw these people into court. If we can't bring them to court. It's time to get our guns and remove them from office. Physically.
What an excellent solution. I love it, V. Thank you.
So what exactly... How do you know who's doing what?
Your guns, and you got to worry about who you're blaming at the same time. Because if you're putting something on public record, you don't want, to have that permanent. If you were wrong, you don't want to accuse your neighbors like you were saying earlier. If your neighbors aren't doing it and they're just psyoping you, doing psychological operations, they're doing the program in your head, they're messing with you. They're doing that for a reason to make you do stuff like that, to make you, accuse other people and go up to them, and they have no idea what's going on. And it's reality that they can really program alters and stuff like that in people and get them to do creepy, weird stuff without even knowing really what they're doing. Plus, there's multivalence, where they can get somebody to say or do something out loud, thinking that they're saying or doing what they think they're saying they're doing, but they're actually doing multiple things at the same time, or saying multiple things, and that affects the target. These people are very sophisticated, they're smart, they're professional.
And Jason, let me go ahead and also answer your question from my point of view very quickly.
Yeah.
You want to know who's doing it. How do you know who's doing it? Well,
I have no idea on any of this.
Well, there's logic. There is Occam's razors. There is a certain critical step in thought that the American people, most people these days, don't know how to do anymore. They're so busy being told what to think that they've lost that ability. Listen, if you've got high technology being used against you, who's running the high technology? The secret government, okay? Your feds, okay? The NSA is on top of the pyramid when it comes to the secret intelligence agencies and high technology, okay? Yeah. But even if you don't believe it's the feds doing it, doesn't matter. Who's responsible for overlooking any potential danger or activity like this? The feds. You can draw a line from any direction you want to. It's going to lead to one source.
Okay.
I think there should be total surveillance. I think people should swarm. They want to swarm Area 51. Why don't they swarm the NSA and be like, "Hey, with this total surveillance, we want to watch the agents that are supposedly, in matters of national security doing they shouldn't be doing." And that's even a term. I can prove that international security, us being a world people instead of a nations of separate divided people. A divided house can't stand, right? So if we're a house of nations, then we will not stand at the end of the. This will become hell for us. In the Vatican, they're connected with the CIA too. And I believe they're a front for Christianity and all that. Because look at how many people they slaughtered. All the Christians, they themselves in Rome slaughtered Christians for many years. Burned them alive and did shit like that. You never know what's going on, and this is most of it is a deception. So you have to really use your mind, not use your brain. Your mind and your brain are not the same thing. You try to make it seem like it is, like calling your brain your mind, your mind your brain, and all that. But you have to just not listen to what other people say, basically, and just do your own thing. Know what you know, and you try to go with what everybody else believes and pretends to believe, basically, with their personas. And you're just gonna, end up being taken fully by these demonic systems of control and their creators, I guess.
Is Jason a skeptic? Is that what I'm understanding?
Am I a skeptic?
Yeah.
I have no idea what any of it is, so that's why I guess I'm calling.
Okay, so I'll just give you.
Trying to figure out what all it is, and then what we're accomplishing on the phone.
Let me give you my take on it too, because quite frankly, I'm relatively new to the TI stuff too. So I went online over the last couple weeks, and I looked for some what everybody else would accredit as newsworthy or legitimate news sources, and just a couple ones just from Wired magazine alone. The headline from this one's from 2008. Army yanks voice to skull devices site, and it talks about how it could be done, and had the patent little device drawing there. There's another one from Wired Magazine, which is one of the most esteemed tech magazines in the world right now. The Microwave Scream Inside Your Skull. That's about the U.S. military, and they bankrolled the early development of a non-lethal microwave weapon. And then they're talking about a voice only you can hear, DARPA's sonic projector. And that goes back to 2007. So the technology is there, the budget's there, and the U.S. government has no historical shortage of silencing dissidents in a number of ways. This seems like a double whammy to me. We'll silence our dissidents, and we'll make them look crazy on top of that, so no one will help them, and everyone will think that they're crazy. So it's pretty interesting, to say the least, and very
psychological warfare.
So why can't we take this information of stuff and a bunch of people and petitions or whatever and write our congressmen and write these people?
I'll tell you why. Because we haven't got to the reason why we can't do that is because we haven't gotten to the critical mass yet. I've been working on the DCYF issue. I know Bill the Butcher has been working on the CPS issue. There have been people that have been working on all the organic food, the chemtrails, the fluoridation. There's people that have been working tirelessly on this for a long time, but until we start waking up enough people, right now we just don't have enough people that will take peaceful action and do something about it. We're still at the part of the game where we gotta tell other people because just not enough people show up for all this.
Another thing is like what Ted and I were working on today with Tom, and what we wrote about today was it is so multifaceted that it boggles the mind to keep up with it all, and it makes us all sound crazy. It makes us all sound like we're conspiracy nuts and all, but it's not that. Tom, his expertise is that the government had passed certain regulations for mobile homes, putting the intake of the hot water heater to within 3 feet of the outblow of the air conditioner or the heating system with the carbon monoxide, so it would circulate back into the mobile home. And this is a fact. I had to go out and check it today. We have trailer parks in Texas. It wouldn't necessarily kill someone, though it did kill a little boy named Daniel, but it would dumb down people living in mobile homes, make them more accepting what the government says. And it's a broad plan. It's not we're going to do this and Sally Jones over here is going to go crazy. It's not like in fact, V, I think I sent you a meme where we're going to call this the Real Housewives of the trailer park. That everybody knows that people in trailer parks are a little dumber than everybody else, and there's a reason for that. It's because they're breathing in a small percentage of carbon monoxide all the time. And you have to ask yourself, what kind of mentality in the government thinks of this stuff? I wouldn't think of this stuff. V wouldn't do this.
Apparently, they just gave us life to take it, man.
Well, it's funny that you say that, though. But it's funny that you say that, though. What kind of people would think of this? Well, our U.S. military, the DoD, is paid, especially our intelligence agencies and the agencies inside the DoD, are paid to think of this stuff, to be paranoid. They're paid to be paranoid. What if this would happen? But it doesn't stop there, these corrupt animals. It's, okay, what if this would happen? Now let's use it. So nobody's going to think about it. And yes, the poor population tends to be dumber because they have fallen to not only the psychological operations, but the chemical poisoning. I drink distilled water, pure water. Okay? People in trailer parks probably drink out of their water hoses. All the fluoride and all that. Yeah, exactly. You got them drinking out of water bottles. We discussed this. Releasing the chemicals. The food is Frankenstein foods. They're being bombarded with signals to make them complacent and docile. Not only that, the whole pussification with the, your kids can't fight in school, people get sued, and non-violence. Now,
Excuse me, if you could stop mansplaining.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding, but I also wanted to add in, also, when Katrina happened, they gave a whole bunch of people trailers that had asbestos in it. So if the government ever offers you a trailer, don't take it.
Aid across the world is being questioned for all the garbage that we've given out.
Dude, it's the money, man. I'm telling you, whoever controls the money controls the world, and they made that money. It's fiat currency. It's not real money. It's actually usury. It's fraud. It's treason. It's fucking high treason against God. Technically, if you want to talk about it, it's treason against everybody, man. It's bullshit because
it's not just the money.
Enough money so they can pay anybody to do anything evil.
It's not just the money. It's he who controls the information controls the world.
But if
because imagine if the people in Wall Street had my knowledge, knowing that all the trader information, all this stuff is known by the government because their minds are being read. With remote neural monitoring, satellite remote neural monitoring, because they're lit up like Christmas trees from the chemtrails. Imagine if they knew that when they go to Thailand and have sex with little boys. Imagine if they knew, if the government knew that they killed a hooker last week and stuffed them in their trunk and dumped them in a river somewhere. Imagine if Wall Street knew what the secret government was doing. It's information that controls everything. Money is number two. So
it's just like the Epstein case, and everything. Now all the bigwigs are running for cover because they subscribe. All Epstein was a pimp. Okay, that's all he was. He was a pimp. He made a lot of money parlaying mid-teen girls. That's what he really did. The same thing with Facebook. They're looking for collusion with the president, with the Russians, and I don't know which way that's going to go, but we know it's a matter of fact that Facebook took the money from the Russians to run their memes on sponsored sites on Facebook, but nobody mentions that. Nobody says that because they know that the masses most people are sheep, and that's not saying they're bad people. Most people want to go to work, do their jobs, raise their kids, and drink beer on Saturday night. Most people just want to live their life, okay? And they know that, and they try to manipulate us. And like we just said, you end up with a dead girl in the trunk. And what's her life worth? If she's a hooker in Dallas, it's not worth very much, okay? It's not. If it's Hillary Clinton's brand new grandson that just got born, well, it's the end of the world. Then that's your royalty. That's your targeters. That's the people that are trying to run us into the ground.
Ask another question.
I would like for our producer to skip this commercial break, and yes, please go ahead with the question.
Okay, so I heard somebody say something about the trailer and carbon monoxide coming back in and all that other fun stuff. Mm-hmm. That's actually found and factual. Why isn't anybody able to go to like OSHA or go to?
Because they passed a law.
To show that.
They passed a law in 1976 saying that's the way it's going to be. This is how we're going to do this. And Ted and I just happened to have been in the mobile home trailer park business for a long time, and we checked it out, and it's absolutely true for some insane reason.
If you have a carbon monoxide detector going off, that's
right.
You prove it and say this is happening, and then
because there's an answer to that. Okay, when a person dies of carbon monoxide poisoning, if they're sitting in the car with the garden hose running through the back window in the garage, it's carbon monoxide poisoning. If it's not that, the coroner is not even allowed to write it down. That's why, right there. By the way, that's your government.
They pass the buck too. If you go and complain to somebody, oh well, we're not the people to complain with. Call these people. Those people will tell you, oh, call this crew, and then it'll continue on. Call your congressman, and you know you're going to fall flat on your face on that one.
Yeah,
well, let me just say too, just to give this guy a quick answer. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see me talking to almost over 30 state reps here in Rhode Island. I've emailed all of them, the governor, lieutenant governor, every single one of them, city councilors, the mayor. I've sent emails, phone calls, all this stuff, and it's people they're not responsive at all to this. So it's like, and on top of that, I have a whistleblower in the Department of Health, a whistleblower in the food bank, all documented. All these DCYF people, and they've went to the state police, they've went to the FBI, the Office of the Inspector General, every single person that you can think of, and nobody takes their cases. And we've had countless people on this show telling the similar story that people don't want to hear it because it's just it doesn't look good.
People don't realize that this is part of the whole plan, man. They keep thinking that they're congressmen, that they're politicians, that the president, that all these people that are literally paid by the evil monarchs, they're going to help them. They're not. They're there to literally Trojan horse and manipulate the situation and make everybody think that they're there, to support us and protect us. It was just a con the whole time. People don't realize that, and they think that everything's going to work out fine if they don't actually stand up and do that Area 51 type swarm thing and wake people up with truth, love, and light, one at a time. They have to flip all the military people, the agents, the law enforcement, make them realize that the truth, that they're being conned, that there has already been treason, that there already has been, terrorism. It's right here. It's everywhere. These people are manipulating everybody with money and fear and threats and blackmail and setting them up and doing all this stuff. Sorry, I wish I had like one of those bleeper devices. My bad. But that's what it is, guys. They're conning everybody. They're making them think that Jesus is going to save them. That maybe Jesus will save them. I didn't mean to say that, but the politicians are going to save them. The president's going to save them. Nobody's going to save them because they're there for a reason to make you think that. That's the whole point. So they can slowly take over humanity and our brains and all that. And they're using everybody against each other and building weapons and doing all this stuff. A divided house cannot stand. We said that ourselves. That's exactly what they've been doing. It's an international security threat and a Trojan horse. It's a scheme. It's like the devil itself, the father of lies, manipulating everybody.
Exactly. Jason, I want to thank you for calling in. Great questions. Please call again any other time.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Devin, I would like for you to advertise anything that you've got going on. Go ahead and plug whatever efforts that you've got going on, any websites, phone numbers, anything like that.
All right. We got the Truth Force. I'm trying to get a nonviolent army of truthers and truth artists, people that are celebrities that are victims, people that are, just targeting individuals that are victims. Anywhere in the world, people that are truthers that are trying to, they focus on whatever they, activists, whatever they care about. We want to connect it all together. We want to bring everybody together. We want to spread the truth and love and light through, the way that we should do it without, getting, falling for the programming of this revolution mentality, this mindset. And we have to reverse all that. We have to wake up. We have to go Upchain. I got Project Upchain. All right, the Truth Force is facebook.com/group/the Truth Force. And we got Upchain, going up the compromised, corrupted chain of command together. Slowly converting people with the Truth Force, to go up, people that are, in actual official ranks, that are, public servants, military, law enforcement, people that really matter, that would go against us. And, we don't want them to do that, to go against their own families like this is Nazi Germany all over again. So the truth, that's Upchain, facebook.com/group/Upchain. And that's, hopefully a worldwide official operation at some point if, people decide that they want to be we the people, of the people, for the people government instead of corporation government, all capital letters. And that's pretty much what it is. We got TIs with V2K all day. That's what it originally was. Now it's the TIs with V2K Worldwide Collective. And, V2K is just an old term for, these voice of God weapons in this, neural technology, and that's facebook.com/group/TIs with V2K. And that's pretty much all I wanted to promote. I hope that this show really can change the world if we can promote this enough. And I hope we can do the other idea with the truth talk.
Well,
and the combo
we will
names.
let you promote it because of the profanity. We can't distribute to our other broadcasters, but we will definitely.
Can we bleep it out?
This is a
I
lot.
think it would be funny. I think they'd find it more entertaining if we bleeped it.
Hey, I've been
it's
all
already
over
good. If
radio
it was funny,
everywhere,
it would be even better.
But anyways, I want to thank you for coming on to the show, and
all right, man.
And we'll continue the fight, my friend.
All right. So you're gonna send it to me though?
Absolutely. So we will.
All right, that'd be awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you inviting me here. We had some good conversation.
Let me give you an apology. I'm going to tell you something funny that happened to me. It'll make you feel better. I give speeches in Texas, especially in Austin, and my trade name is Bill the Butcher. And a very delicate young lady got up and introduced me to the crowd one day, and this is not really bad, V, so it can go over, and introduced me as Bill the Bitcher, so I understand the slip of the tongue.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that actually sounds a little bit better than Bill the Butcher, man. Bill the Butcher kind of sounds like a serial killer. And Bill the Bitcher just sounds like, a beta mind-controlled.
Hey, damn close, damn close, my friend.
Well,
all right, well,
have
thank
a great
you.
Night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, and so that is the end of this episode. This is the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show. I'm your host, V, and catch us tomorrow. Remember, in the land of surveillance, the man with the third eye is king. See you next time.